செஷன் நான் வந்துட்டு ஒரு இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷன் மட்டும் கொடுத்துட்றேன். ஸோ அபவுட் லெட்ஸ் டாக் லெட்ஸ் கனெக்ட். லெட்ஸ் டாக் லெட்ஸ் கனெக்ட் என்ன அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, இட் இஸ் அ ஸ்கில் ஷேரிங் பிளாட்ஃபார்ம். எனக்கு ஒரு ஸ்கில் இருக்கு, அதை நான் வந்து நிறைய பேருக்கு ஷேர் பண்ணும் அப்படின்னு நினைக்கிற எல்லாருமே ஒரு ஸ்கில்லை நான் ஷேர் பண்றதுக்கு அந்த ஸ்கில்லை நான் வந்து ஒரு எக்ஸ்பர்ட்டா தான் இருக்கணும், இல்லை அதை பத்தி எல்லாமே எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும் அப்படின்றது இங்க நெசசிட்டி கிடையாது. எனக்கு தெரியும், அதை நான் 4 பேருக்கு நம்ம ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு சொல்லி தரணும்னு ஆசைப்படுற எல்லாருமே இந்த பிளாட்ஃபார்மை யூட்டிலைஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். அதே மாதிரி நிறைய விஷயங்கள் இது வரைக்கும் மோர் தென் 195 செஷன்ஸ் நடந்திருக்கு லெட்ஸ் டாக் லெட்ஸ் கனெக்ட்ல வேரியஸ் டாபிக்ஸ்ல. ஸோ எல்லாத்தையும் நான் கத்துக்கணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன் அப்படின்னு ஆசைப்படுறவங்களுக்கான பிளாட்ஃபார்மும் தான் இது. ஸோ யாரு வேணும்னாலும் இங்க வந்து ஸ்கில்ஸை ஷேர் பண்ணலாம், எந்த ரெஸ்ட்ரிக்ஷன்ஸும் கிடையாது. ஏஜ் வைஸும் சரி, எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் வைஸும் சரி. அதே மாதிரி பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸும் தான் வேரியஸ் பிளேஸ்ல இருந்து வந்து நமக்கு பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்றாங்க. ஸோ உங்களுக்கும் வந்து இது மாதிரி இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருந்ததுன்னா இந்த பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் நீங்க யூட்டிலைஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். இன்னைக்கு வந்து நமக்கு டிசைனிங் பத்தி செஷன் எடுக்கிறதுக்கு நந்தினி மேம் இருக்காங்க. ஸோ I welcome you, ma'am. Thank you for giving the session.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. So can I start the session? இப்ப ஆரம்பிக்கட்டுங்களா? Okay.
அதுக்கு முன்னாடி நான் ஒரு 2 விஷயம் மட்டும் சொல்லிடுறேன். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து சாரி ஃபார் தி இன்டரப்ஷன். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து எல்லாரும் மியூட்ல இருந்துக்கோங்க மேம் பேசும்போது, ஸோ தட் எதுவும் வாய்ஸ் வந்து தெளிவா கேட்கும். செகண்ட் வந்து செஷன் ரெக்கார்ட் ஆகுது, யாருக்காவது ஏதாவது கன்ஸ்ட்ரெயின் இருந்ததுன்னா இப்பவே சாட் பாக்ஸ்ல சொல்லிடுங்க. ஸோ யா, தேங்க்யூ மேம். ஹேண்ட் ஓவர் தி செஷன் ப்ளீஸ்.
Okay. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much. Good morning. So I'm Nanthini here. So today we are going to see. Okay, it's more of a very casual session today. So we're going to see what designing is and how it's important in our life, and how you can actually take it as a career in your life, and how you can actually make a change by taking it as a career in your life. Just a minute. I just want to share my screen.
Jaya, wow. இது பாக்குறியா?
Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Yes.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
Sorry about the delay.
Yeah, now I can see.
Sorry. Nancy, you can see my screen now?
Yeah, I can see.
You're able to see me, right? Like you're not able to see the presentation.
Yeah, I'm able to see you.
Okay. Hello, Nancy.
Yeah, ma'am.
Can you share the presentation alone? I'm not able to share it. Like, can you share the presentation alone that I sent
sure.
you?
I'll
start and also cook with. Add some haldi powder. Half a spoon of this to blend together and boil for a couple of minutes. We'll add a ground coconut and jeera paste. Let this also come to a boil for a few minutes more. And
okay. Hello, Nancy?
Ma'am, I think you should go ahead and speak.
Hello.
Ma'am, I'm just trying to share it, ma'am.
It's not happening.
Share panda, ma'am.
Okay.
Can you see my screen, ma'am?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Just a second.
Okay. Can you please switch off your mics? Like others, can you please switch off your mics? Thank you.
Hello. Hey,
Yeah,
Nancy.
hello.
Yeah.
No.
அவன் எடுக்கலமா so that உனக்கு ஏதாவது ஹெல்ப் வேணா சொல்லு.
நான் கேரி ஆன் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். நான் இந்த
Okay, I'll just start on the session. We'll see when we are getting it shared. Yeah. That's
okay,
good.
Okay, ma'am.
I don't want them to wait. So initially the question is, what is designing?
Okay.
So when I say designing, what actually comes into your mind? Like when you say like studying for design or something. So usually when I say that I'm studying designing, usually this is the first thing which people ask me. They'll be like, okay, are you studying fashion designing? Or are you studying like interior designing? Because I feel that is the most commonly known kind of designing in India. Like at least like for the people I know. And maybe that is what came to your minds also first. But then I wanted to share like there are so many kinds of designing. Can you please switch off your mics? Can you please mute your mics? Okay. So when we think about designing, there's so many kinds of designing. So actually in the presentation, I had like, what are the kinds of designing that are available? So we have like, I'm just going to read out those for you now, since, sorry about that, like we're not able to get the presentation for now. Okay. So thank you, Nancy. We got the presentation. Okay. Can you come to the second slide? Yeah, perfect. So these are the kinds of designing which we have. Like half of us don't even know that these kinds of designing exist, because so we actually have like graphic designing, which people might be like familiar with. We have like web designing, product designing. There might be a lot of people who are interested just in jewelry designing, or there might be like people who are just interested, like crazy about shoes or like crazy about footwear. Excuse me, Preeti, can you please mute the mic? Yes, thank you.
You carry
Thank you.
on.
Thank you.
I'll
Yeah,
take care of it.
thank you. Okay. So can I have the screen back? Okay. So half of us don't even know that these kinds of designing exist. Like as a child, like I was always like really interested in creating new things and stuff like that. So first we must know designing is just not about fashion designing or interior designing. Or there is something called space designing also, like that is like totally different from interior designing. So if we have to like learn about each of these in detail, it's like going to take another whole session. So this is just going to be a gist of how many kinds of designing is there. So can we have the next slide, please? Okay. So I'm here first to say like how you can take it as a career. Like a lot of people were asking me like, how did you get into designing, or if you can help me get into designing, of course. So for people who wants to take it as an undergraduate program, there's not much restriction other than the thing that you must have a lot of passion for it. That's the first criteria, which I would say as like, you must have the passion for it. You must love what you're going to do. Only then you can survive in designing, because it's not something that you take up for a time pass or something, because it actually requires a lot of sleepless nights and hard work. So yeah, for undergraduate designing, like initially the basic criteria is like you need to be above 18 years. That is like, and you must have a 12th, like a +2 certificate, and you must have minimum pass marks. It doesn't need like you must have a 90-degree score or like 80-degree or anything like that. You must have like at least like the 50% mark, and you can be from any stream. You can be from science, commerce, arts, computer, anything. You're eligible for applying for designing. But then when we take us post-graduation in design, the problem is you must need a basic knowledge in designing, or at least like an engineering background, or you must be in that field to take post-graduation in designing. Because in post-graduation, you are not taught the basic skills. Usually like you are being taught on how, or like more like you're being trained on a more like a master level, right? Like, so when you're going to take it up for PG level, I will suggest you to have a basic knowledge, or like at least have a degree that is somewhat related to design. But when you want to take it for UG, like there is not much restriction. If you love it, just take it. That's how it is going to be. Can we have the next slide? Next slide, please. So, but then you also have to possess some, the previous one. You also have to possess some skills for designing. Like, yeah, you can see like, yeah, you don't really have to have like a 90 in science or something like that, but there are like few basic skills for a designer. Like you must be a very creative person. Okay, and also like you must have the knowledge for colors, shades, and tones, like the basic sketching knowledge and design knowledge and stuff like that. And also a very important thing is like the eye for detail. So when you look around you right now, like, or you might be using at least like 10 things in your daily life. And how many of us actually like observe those stuff? Like how many of us know like what kind of pen you're going to use, or what kind of design is it having? Or like even when you use a mouse or a webcam or a phone or something, like most of us just use the product, and we'll half of the time we make complain like, yeah, it will be better if this is there in the product, or it will be better or this is there, or we must need an eye for detail. A designer should be very good at observation and also have a very good eye for detail. And also the good sketching skills are mainly for, okay, let's keep like you have a good idea that's in your mind, and you want to for a product or for anything, like for an interior or like for a footwear, and you want to show it to your clients, or you want to bring the idea and show it to other people. How are you going to show it? You need your visual imagination and stuff like that. So it is very important to have like basic skills or sketching skills to bring it down to paper. And you should be very goal oriented, because creating a product and bringing it to this world is not an easy job. It might sound easy, but it's not an easy job. it is, designing is just not about like bringing one product. It's about the whole system. So you must be very goal oriented, and you must again have passion. And if you have the passion, even though it's going to be sometime a lot of work, you're going to love it because it's going to be very interesting. It's designing doesn't involve books actually. It's all mostly about self-learning and about how you're going to take it, like how you're going to take a project and how you're going to explore in it. So it's going to be a very interesting process, like learning designing. But then if you have the passion for it, like you're going to love it, even though it's going to be a lot of work sometimes. Can we have the next slide? Next slide, please. Okay, so basically like the next slide will contain on what are the procedures to get into a design college. So even though like you must need your basic 50% of mark, but then there's a process to get into a design college. So the process involves like it has a separate design aptitude test. Most of the colleges do have their design aptitude test. And after that, you usually have a second round, which will actually include the studio test and the personal interview, which will also involve a portfolio submission. So the portfolio round is, and the interview round is also like very important because sometimes you do get into the design aptitude test, but then the next round can be very tricky because the portfolio round mainly will show on how dedicated you're going to be, or like why exactly you want to take designing. Because if you have to survive in designing, you must really show like your passion for it. And strongly suggest like there might be people who might be having questions on what a portfolio is, or like what the design aptitude test is going to be. So maybe like if you have more questions on this particular session, maybe you can come to me personally, like, or mail me later. And when we take about some design colleges in India, like we do have like a lot of government colleges, and now we have a lot of private colleges also coming up. And previously we did see like we have a lot of different design courses. So each college has like a specific course that it's good at and stuff like that. Here I've just noted down few of the colleges, but then again, like depending upon what kind of design you want to take or what kind of course you want to take, we'll be able to choose the colleges. So now we are going to see like, next slide please. We are going to see like how design plays a very important role in our everyday life. So if you're going to become a designer, you should know this. You should be very proud to be a designer. You should know that you're actually changing the world. You should know like how people are actually dependent on you. Like you should know your value first. You should know how important you are. That's when like other people are going to know your value. So just look around you again and you will be seeing like thousands of products, like literally thousands of products. And where do you think it came from? There is a work of a designer behind every product too. And again, let me clarify, designing and art are totally different. Designing has a lot of rules. There are a lot of steps that you have to follow. And designing is not just about looks. Okay, let's think like we have a pen that looks amazing. It looks like really good aesthetically, it looks great, but then it's not going to work. It's not going to write. Like because of the aesthetics, it's not going to write. So what's the use of the pen? So that's actually considered to be bad design. Even though it looks good, it's considered to be a bad design because it's not giving its use. Like it's not usable. So the product is useless. It's just going to add to the other junks in this world. So when you're going to design, you have to think a lot of stuff, because designing is not just, again, about a product. It's about a whole system. And as a designer, the steps that you have to follow and keep in mind is that the product should also be like in the best words. So let's see, like we did have phones like 10 years back. We did have the button phones and stuff, but then now we have the touch phones. So that's like product evolving. And human mind or human beings always need new products. We get easily bored. We be like, yeah, you use a phone for a year and then you'll be like, yeah, I'm bored with this. What's new again? Or you take a stationery. How long do you use a stationery for? You always need something new to use. So a designer always has an interesting role to play. That's where your creativity comes into place. You literally engage this world, like you engage people with this world, both physically. Yeah, sorry. Okay. So you literally engage people with this world. And that's how important you are in everyone's life, because everyone literally works because of products. Like take for a car, a lot of people maybe are like fantasized by cars and stuff. You can become a transport designer and create your own transport or like your own model in car. Wow, that's a dream, right? Like, of course it's possible, it's not a dream. So yeah, you can of course play a very important role in your life and also in a lot of other people's life. So next slide, please.
Just hold on. I'll just share my screen.
Yeah, no problem.
You are able to see?
Yeah. So now you're going to see again like how you can actually bring a change in this world through design. So again, if it's not like you're going to bring a change in this whole world, even small changes matter. So let's take like you're going to design a product, and designing is not just again about the product. When you take the whole system, and if you're going to change the use of water in, like if you're going to reduce the use of water in the making of the product, or if you're going to reduce the material use in the making of the product, if you're going to reduce the energy it's going to take after the product has been produced, or if you're even going to reduce the carbon impact of the product, it's actually going to change a person's life, or even like the world of a particular group. So that's how like these small changes are going to somehow help change the world. So you might think like you're going to do like a small thing, or you're going to do like bring out a small change, but it's not like that. You're actually like helping this world get better somehow. And also these days, this is something I always want to underline, or like it's a very important thing. If you're going to become a designer, you should always keep this in mind. You should not just design for you. You're going to design for someone else, but also you should keep in mind the environment and stuff. Like, it's also important how your product doesn't affect another person or another animal or another being in this world in the next 20 years or next 25 years. So you shouldn't be selfish when you design. You should be more like selfless when you design. And let me say like why designing is going to be very interesting is like it's going to depend on each product you're going to take. Every product is going to be so different for you to use. Like if you're going to design a furniture, it's going to be like a totally different aspect. And designing a furniture, just let's take a chair. We have thousands of chairs and you have different chairs. Like you can't use the same chair that you're going to use in an office in a beach. So that's the exciting part. You'll be able to explore, you'll be able to learn things. And I'm pretty sure like now we have the phone. Somewhere, sometime, someone designed this phone or someone invented this phone, and now it has changed our lives. There is also good and bad again, but then again, it has changed our lives. So design gives you an opportunity to change someone's life, or even to change a bigger part of life, or even to change the whole world. So designing is a way you can actually make your dreams come true. Can we have the next slide? So why take designing? Like what are the advantages of taking design as a career? So here, let's keep like a lot of creative people, or like people who want to take designing. It's not about sitting in a room, sketching. You're not going to get ideas like randomly. You need a lot of time. Like half of the time you get your ideas when you're sleeping or like when you're traveling. So a designer's mind is always like not confined to anything. So when you take design as a career, you can literally work as a freelance, and you can work from any point of the world. You can be traveling, you can be in Rome, but then you get an idea, you get a solution for a product's problem, and you can just sketch it out there. You can solve the problem. So you can literally work from anywhere. Like it's a you don't really have to do a 9 to 5 a.m. job or get bored or anything. And you actually never get bored, because every time it's going to be a new project, and every time it's going to feed your creative mind, because you have to solve a new problem through design and bring a very creative solution. So you're never going to get bored. And most of the time it's more of a practical thing. You're going to get your hands dirty sometimes. You can work with materials. You can work with a lot of different products. You can work outside. You can go do your research. You get to meet a lot of people when you actually do your research to know about your product that you're going to design. So it's actually never going to make you get bored, and it will always make you proud of whatever you design. And when it's going to come into existence, it's always going to make you proud. And again, you can play a big part in reviving back this environment. So we actually have the UN Sustainable Design Goals that we are supposed to achieve by 2030. And you can be a big part, and you can be a solution to various problems here in this world these days. So actually, this is like a very short session. So I've like given you a basic of this. So if there's any questions that you guys would like to ask, like if there's any questions that you would like to ask on your behalf of something, you can always ask me. Is there questions? Is there any questions that you guys would like to ask?
Yeah, I have one. Hi, this is Rajesh here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah. See, basically, I'm a designer, but not a regular MDes or MDes guy. I've been into animation field, and I've moved on to a different field now. My son is now, he's in 8th standard actually, but from his childhood, he's very much, since I'm a designer, I can understand what he's doing around, because he do stuff, he do something different. But
exactly.
if the regular father, people would say to stop that, but I encourage that to do. Yeah.
Very good. So I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for doing that. Actually.
Yeah, because if my parents would have encouraged me in my childhood, I would not have taken engineering. I lost my 5 years of engineering. So the question here is, so how can I motivate him, or because UC or NID or NIFT, you have all those entrance and things like that. So you need to have any kind of prior preparation, like from the 11th standard, or there are lots of courses which they start in the early days itself. What you suggest?
Yes, sir. Actually, like there are like preparations which you can do for designing, for your design aptitude test actually. So maybe like again, this is you can actually have like the various kind of papers that you can like prepare upon and stuff. You do have like books available and various mock tests that's available, but I do think it's enough if you start when he's like in 11th and 12th. You don't really have to pressurize him. Like let him be on his own from his 8th grade. Let him do what he's doing. But then maybe you can help him see more of a path, because again in design, as you see, you are an animation designer. But like I told you, right? Like there are like various fields in designing. So you can help him choose like which path of designing he wants to choose. Like you can help him figure out what is he more passionate about. And slowly, like you can actually give him few from 8th if you really want. You don't have to really pressurize him. Like again, then design is never, then it won't be about creativity. It's again going to be about books. Then if you start pressurizing him to learn it, like you have to solve this problem, then it's again going to be like other competitive exams. It should never be like that, because design is very it's very subjective, let's say, because a person designs a car and they might like it, but I might not like the design. So again, it's very subjective. So you must always have your own vision. Your design or your creativity should never change for another person. So he can always like have he can actually start working with his portfolio actually from now. If I would suggest, like, it needn't be really like a big thing or something. He can start with the basic stuff, whichever he's doing. He can be doing a small model, or like you can just have a documentation of whatever he's doing right now, because as he said, he's always doing something all the time. So you can always have a documentation of them, and you can always feed his creative brain by giving him more these mock tests, or like thinking out of the box. So maybe like I can give you my mail ID, and you can actually contact me later, and we can have like another detailed talk about how he should, because for an 8th grader, it's a different step. And for a 12th grader, like, it's going to be a different step. So we can actually talk about this in detail, sir. Like, I'm glad you actually asked this question, and I'm sure he will actually become a big designer. Just wait and watch.
Thank you for your answer.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else who wants to ask a question here?
Hello.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah, cool. So I'm actually learning product design. Like, I'm a 3rd year student in product designing. So I just wanted to know, like, after college, like after my 4th year, what steps should I take? Like, should I directly go for some post-graduation course, or should I actually take a break, venture out there, like in the field, and then go?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get your confusion, because I was like that 2 years back.
Yeah.
So totally I get how you feel right now. So, like, since you're a product designer, it's a very vast field, right? Like, you don't know, like, you can go into UI UX, you can go into furniture, you can go to footwear, you can. So is there any particular interest that you actually have, or is there any?
That's honestly, I really don't know right now.
Okay, it's totally fine.
Yeah, I'm still exploring actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally good to explore. If you ask me, I actually figured it out only in my final year, that I have an interest towards sustainable designing. So it's totally fine to be confused. It's nothing wrong to be confused in, because that's how designers are. I totally get, like, when you're going to even design something, you're always confused. You don't know how to proceed with it. So it's like a writer's block, let's say. So it's like a creative block here. So maybe I would suggest, like, you actually know what you're interested in. You must have worked on few projects till now, right? Like, I'm pretty sure you must have, right?
Yeah, like some mini projects here and there. So, actually.
So can you kind of give me an example of what kind of products you worked on?
So basically, so far, since till the 2nd year, we've been following instructions, not like exactly instructions. Like, we were not expected to explore too much. Like, they gave us a set of briefs or like guidelines to do. So actually now this year, 3rd year, we are actually starting to do more of, like, projects of like, which are our own projects, like mini degree projects basically. So I'm actually going to get into that right now. So
okay, that's great. That's totally fine. So now when you're actually, like, that's the problem. That's the reason you're confused here. So when you actually start working on products, so usually they'll be like, okay, choose a project for you, and you start to work. So that's where you actually start to think what you're actually interested in working on. Like, with or without your knowledge, you will be automatically taken to a place, like, or taken to a project which you are actually interested in, which you think you're going to give you 100%. Like, your name is Namita, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Namita. So do you think, like, if you're maybe at one point you'll know, like, if you want to take a footwear designing, or if you want to take jewelry designing, you will know it. Like, maybe you right now at this point, you can try working on different projects and seeing, like, if you are not sure on if this is going to interest you, you can try reading about a lot of projects. You can try working on different projects and see. And at one point, you will know which is going to interest you more than the other one. And after your 4th year, if you're confident, or if you're sure, like, I can work with this field, or if you're sure, like, because that you really want to take up in this field, then you can maybe start applying for jobs, like, in that particular field. Like, you can start applying for internships in that field if you have already figured it out, or if you kind of already have an idea, you can start applying for internships and start working with company. because working on your own and working with a company is totally different. It's like totally two different environments. So you can slowly start doing that, and I'm pretty sure like you'll be able to figure out your interest. And if you're confident, I can say like you can start going forward. Or if you really think that you want to specialize in that or something, but okay, there's also things you can do. You can go for work, and there are also like a lot of short courses available even from abroad, like even from University of Arts London, or even from Royal College of Arts. Like these are like the top design colleges in the world. Like they're offering some short courses. So if you feel like working, and at the same time you can take these online short courses to improve your knowledge. Or if you want to get another degree, if you think like, yeah, getting another degree is going to add more value for me at some point in the field, but even that can help. But I would suggest like after your 4th year, try getting some more experience, like try working, because experience matters in this field. The more you work, the more projects you work upon, the more knowledge you gain. Because by now, you know, we don't have books in this field. Like you don't have a particular book that you're going to learn with. You're going to learn with the different kinds of projects you're going to work upon. So I think have I at least like answered half of your question? Like, I've given
of course, actually was thank you so much. Actually I was planning to do that only, like somewhat go into the field and experience what's out there and try to figure out through like working too.
You still have like 2 years. Now you're in your 3rd year, you still have 2 years left. You have like plenty of time to explore. Try doing internships, try working on, like at this point I would suggest you start working on projects. Like even if your college might be giving you, start taking up your own projects and try working on them. Go to your professors, like try figuring out your interest. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no
and
problem,
also I had one more small question.
I
just wanted to know like what softwares will actually be useful for, like, you know, which softwares that I should be using right now, like for rendering products, or what are those being used in the industry?
Okay, so in the industry, it's pretty kind of different from what a student is using. So in the industry, if you see, like they use like 3ds Max and stuff like that. Like, but then as a student, you can learn illustration. You can use like Adobe Illustrator and stuff. You can use like Rhino. You can use Keyshot for rendering. Like that's what we were using. Like as a student, like these are the stuff which your college might be offering and which you will be able to install with you. And you can use like Fusion 360 is like a really good, it's like actually very easy to learn. At the same time, you can do amazing products and you can do amazing 3D modeling in that. So again, learning your, by this time, like you should start learning more of softwares too. Because at a point, like you should be able to bring your ideas into form, like into a visual form by this time. So it's very important that you start learning these softwares too. And these are like few of the softwares. And
okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your question. Thank you. Okay, is there anyone else who wants to ask a question?
It's me, Swatika.
Hi Swatika, tell me.
Actually, I told you, right, I wanted to do this in correspondence. Whatever I take up, I wanted to do it in correspondence. So do you suggest me doing this course in correspondence, or is there any course for correspondence?
Okay, so taking up product designing or fashion designing as such in correspondence is a bit tricky, because it can be done, but I won't suggest you to do it. You know the reason? Because it actually involves a lot of, again, practical things. Even now, because of like the corona and stuff, like I know like a lot of colleges haven't been started yet, but it's very difficult to teach a design student without the actual interaction, or like without seeing what that person is doing. Because in my first year, I remember I used to have like a lot of papers and paints and pencils. Like I just used to have like a lot of stationeries with me. And that's how you actually learn. You actually explore, and that's how you learn. So it's even better, like as for masters, at least like you can suggest doing it because they already have a knowledge of design. And but then as for but yeah, you can maybe learn digital designing or animation and stuff through correspondence. Like we can talk about that like privately maybe, like, but then I would suggest like designing in correspondence is not a big option. Like it's not like really advisable when you want to take up something that you're going to produce as a product. Yeah,
I can
because
understand.
till now, like when I talk, like, did you get the idea? Because it's more about interaction and it's more about going out and
practical
stuff
knowledge,
like that. Yeah, it's more about practical knowledge. But then, yeah, you will have a way. You will always have a way. If it is going to be more of a digital platform or more of digital designing, you also have like UI UX designing. Like, okay, like the user interface designing is more about, we use Instagram or Facebook. It's not the same kind of interface which we had like 3 years back. It keeps changing according to the user needs. So even that's a kind of product designing. So maybe those kinds of designing can of course be learned. But again, like I would really suggest, like, if you don't take it fully in correspondence, like try to go like at least a bit of like college and stuff like that. Like if you can, and we'll have a more detailed talk about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
No problem. And is there anyone else like who would like to know about any kind of exams or the interview or portfolio or anything like that for the entrance?
Hi, one small thing. Sujan has asked some question so that he can unmute and ask. Hey, Sujan, you can unmute. Maybe his queries is, how did you prepare for the interview after just completing the 12th standard?
Okay. So when I actually took up this course, it was a very, very difficult thing because here that was okay. I was literally the third batch to take as designing as like a degree, like as in a bachelor's degree, because it was only introduced in India 2 years before I took. So I didn't really have a lot of things for reference and stuff. So mostly like my preparation was through like practical knowledge, and it was also very difficult at that point to get into designing because you didn't have much seats to get into. Because I failed a lot of time. Like I failed a lot of times. Like at one point, I literally didn't have college to get in for designing, but thank God I did get in. But then yeah, preparing for interview is about being yourself, and your portfolio again plays a very important role during your interview, because your portfolio is going to show who you are. Like it's going to show what are your skills, what are your like your communication skills, your sketching skills, or how your thinking is, or how your creativity is, and that's going to help the person, like help the faculty or who is going to take your interview, see how, if you're actually like ready to come into this field, or if you can manage in this field, or if you're really passionate about this field. Because the first thing they're actually looking into in the interview is if you're actually coming into this field as a time pass, or if you're actually like having passion in this field. So and actually the interview might differ from college to college, like the way you have to present yourself and everything might differ from college to college. And I would suggest you to practice the way you're going to interview. Like you have to, you can do your research. You should always have a research about the college you're going to go in. The first thing, you should know everything about the course or the college or about designing. You should always have the current design knowledge and stuff like that when you're going to go for an interview. Because if a person is going to ask you a question like, which do you think is better? A product, which do you think is more important? A product looking good or a product working? Which do you think is more important? You should be ready to give a really good answer. And at the same time, you should be like bold, strong, confident, and you should make sure that you should talk in a way that you should convince them that you're the right person and you are there to achieve something big in this field. And yeah, always have your research, always do your research about the college, always be updated about designing. And like if you're taking a product designing, or if you're going to take about animation, or if whatever field it is, be up to date. Like show that you actually have the knowledge, and if you only have the passion, you're going to actually be updated about those stuff. So you must that is also a very important part, and show your skills. Like your portfolio plays an important role in an interview, and the way you talk, your communication skill is very important in designing. Starting from the stages where you're going to create your product and get research from your customers, or like get research from your users, and selling your products to your client. The communication skill is very important in designing. Yes, like, is there anything else that you wanted to ask me?
Is there anyone who has any doubt can unmute and ask questions to Nanthini?
Yeah.
So, yeah, thanks for your answers. You're answering elaborately for each queries. And I'll just share one small thing. Just a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if anyone has a query, you can ask, unmute yourself and ask. If not, then we can come to the end of the session. Yeah, so a small greeting from our end. Hope you can see it.
Yes.
Yeah, just a thank you for
thank you so much.
For taking a session and sharing your knowledge about designing, about the various types of designing which is present in this, and what are the colleges has been there, and how to join in this, and how to make into a successful career, all those things. So just gratitude for yourself
Yes,
for
thank you so much.
stepping forward. Yeah. So
can I just, sorry to interrupt. So if
no,
you people have any queries or anything that you would like to know, or if you want more of a consultation, or if you have anything like any doubts about designing or how to get into it, or if you're stuck and if you want to have any help, like regarding your portfolio, like how to prepare your portfolio, or how to prepare for an interview, or like how to prepare after your college, or how to get into designing, or what are the fields in designing, something more in details. Maybe like in the last slide, I have given my mail ID and my number. You're always like free to contact me anytime you guys want. And I will share my knowledge, and I will try to be as helpful as possible. Can you just share the last slide, which I...
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, this is my mail ID and number. Like, you guys can have a note of it, and please feel free to contact me if you guys are in any kind of design emergency or design help. Is there anyone who wants to tell about your views on the session, like anything about the session?
Yeah, one small query is you can post your number and mail ID in the chat box so that people might note it down. So that is one thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So and I have two questions, and
Yes.
the first question is how do you feel in taking a session in Let's Talk, Let's Connect? So you can share your suggestions, or how do you feel right now of sharing your knowledge, or what are the things you have learned to the people, that is to the community?
Okay, so thank you for the question. So the thing is, I feel great because right now one of my main aim is to bring or show people what designing is, or how important it is, because I still think people don't really know how important it is in our life. Like, literally, a lot of people used to think like a person takes up designing because that person can't learn, but they don't know that's not the truth. It's much harder than just learning from some book. Like, it's not easy. Designing is not easy. So I'm really glad, like, whoever participated here today and gave your time for me, thank you so much. I really hope like I helped you in the smallest way possible. And I feel glad, like, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share with at least like these people and to share my design knowledge, because I feel really great about this. Like I feel good to have helped in the smallest way to even for one or two people or like whoever needed help.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for the words, and thanks for saying all those things. And the second question is, so I would request from Let's Talk, Let's Connect team to tag your 3 friends in your circle to take a session, if possible, from your end.
Yeah, sure,
so
sure,
you
sure.
can communicate to your people and your friends, so that it's happening for the our community, so that they can step forward and take whatever they know. They can share their skills with us. So that is the second question from mine. So yeah, I guess they have posted your number and email ID. So so people, if any queries or something regards to the designing the course and how to take it proceed further, you can reach out to her. So that is one thing, and I'll just share the this week today evening session poster, so that you can be aware what is happening. So just a minute.
Sorry, Nanthini, this is Govind here. I have a question.
Hey, yeah, Govind.
See, some people like us are like we are totally in a different medium right now. Say, I'm just doing my masters in MBA. So, like we are just interested, like passionate to learn about fashion designing or product designing. So, that being the case, is there any courses in online forums like Coursera or something where we can just like get in and know about?
Okay, yeah, of course. As I said, like there are a lot of, mainly because of the given situation, there are actually a lot of colleges, like really good colleges that are taking up short courses. Like it can be for beginners, and there are few colleges that are taking up courses, like short courses. You can actually go to a few websites for these, like, I'm not sure about the Indian colleges, but I do know like few colleges in Europe and like places like London, they are taking up short courses. And if you're really interested in taking those courses, I can like contact me and I can send you a few of those links later. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I also just want to know like how feasible it is for an MBA graduate to take up courses like this.
Okay. So you don't really have any, it is just because you're passionate about this, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. So are you, so if you want to take up product designing or fashion designing, just to know as a basic, like just for your interest and stuff, I would suggest you to take like short courses are totally fine. And even if you have done MBA and stuff, like there's no age limit to learn designing. Like you can, or it's fine. You can take it up anytime you want. But then if you really want to make it as a full career or something, like I would really suggest you to take more of a full-time course and be more dedicated to it rather than taking it more as a part-time.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I have some doubt. Maybe I'll catch up with you later.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you. And I guess Navya had some doubt. She has unmuted. Navya, if you have any doubt, you can ask.
Hi, I'm Navya.
Hi, Navya.
So I actually a student in TCDA.
Okay.
So Murli recommended me this.
Okay.
So I completed my 12th and I didn't get a good rank in NIFT. I got about 3,000. So I'm going to give a break for a year. I'm doing coaching right now for a year, and then I'm going to apply again for NIFT and NID.
Okay.
So I've opted for fashion designing. I might know what are the other things that would be better than designing. Something I could just go away rather than designing. An alternative for that.
You mean in the field of designing, or how do you mean? Like,
yeah, rather than fashion designing, are there any courses that I can adopt? Like,
okay. So, but then you took up fashion designing because you were more having a passion towards fashion designing, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, I would really suggest you to have fashion designing, but then maybe you can also take a product designing. Like if you have interest in fashion, then like that's something very close to it is product, because in product, again, you won't be able to design clothes, but then again, you can design something related to that. But yeah, again, according to designing, if you ask me, it's not just about the colleges. Like it's not really necessary. Like you have to get into whichever college you get into, it's about your skill and your talent. So don't worry, like it's fine to be, it's not about a rank or something, like it's not really important. Like you are behind like in a 3,000 rank or something, like you should never say that. Like you must have, I'm pretty sure you gave your 100%, and it's totally fine to take up fashion designing in colleges like Pearl and stuff. They also have a really good facility and stuff. So maybe I would also suggest you to try applying for those courses if possible, like in those colleges too. Because
yeah, I actually got selected for Pearl and UPES, but I was not much admiring of Pearl and UPES, so I thought I need only NID or NEFT.
Okay, so yeah, that's nice. Like that's fine. Like if that is your passion, that is really good. But yeah, again, I would say like people usually have this like, yeah, getting into these colleges are going to bring you something great. It's not like that. This is a very competitive field. So whichever college you're going to get in, it's up to you to showcase your talent, and it's up to you to bring or come above, like shine above the group. So all the best for your preparation for next year, and I'm pretty sure you'll get into whichever college you want. Yeah, but in that case, like you can also start preparing for product designing if you're interested in, because it will give you a more wider option in the next 4 years to choose, like specialize in one particular field. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, Nanthini, I have another question.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, sure.
See, I have two questions. One is the regular question. What's a regular question? It's like the colleges, like, the engineering, you have IIT and stuff like that, and you come out of the college, you have no special thing about your education. What about in the design field, you have IIT, NID and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, okay.
And still you end up in some mid-level college, and still you're doing good in your design stuff. So when you come out of the college,
that's designing, sir. Like I think we always have this thing in our mind, like you need to be in this college to somewhere shine. That somewhere puts down your self-confidence. You're giving more confidence to the college than keeping confidence on yourself. It's fine. A college is not going to define your creativity skill or your knowledge or anything. Wherever you are, it doesn't mean like you get into NID and your life is like going to be settled, or if you get into IIT, your life is going to be settled. There again, it's going to be very competitive. It's the same everywhere. So sir, like I think there's like a lot of opportunity in every college you go. The reason we know NID is because it's one of the oldest college that started design. Like it started design even when people don't know what design was, and that is the reason. But now in most of the colleges, the faculties who teachers are from those colleges, like who have experience. Like there's no one going to come and teach you like when they don't know what designing is, like of course. And like I'm not saying like, of course you have to look into the reputation of the college and stuff, but then still like you don't really have to force yourself or like put yourself like, yeah, you have to get into NID or IIT or something. Like of course you can give it a try, like you can give it to your 100%. If not, it's fine. You do have options. That's why design is like, it's up to like what you know, and it's up to your talent and your skill. Like you will, of course you'll have like various opportunities, and the thing which I suggest is when you have opportunity, like make use of it. Give your 100%. Show what you can do. Because as I told you, like when I was getting into college, I didn't have more options. Like I didn't even know how to prepare for those colleges, because at that time hardly people knew what designing was. Like hardly anyone, even I knew at that time what designing was. That is the main reason right now I'm trying to spread more knowledge about designing and help people to know what exactly this field is about. So it doesn't mean like I I didn't really get into NID or anything, but it doesn't mean like I'm not in a good state or like I'm not in a state where I'm not proud of. Of course, I made myself like, I did go to Turkey for a year. I was in Istanbul. I worked with the municipality of that first place for sustainable designing. So again, sir, like whichever college you take, it's not going to define who you are. Your skill, what you're going to give up to this world is going to decide who you are actually. So never, this is something I'm like, never like really pressurize yourself saying like, no, you have to get into something, like get a college is maybe, yeah, maybe there will be few advantages and disadvantages, but then you should never put down your worth just because of a college.
Great. So another question I have is like, how is the ecosystem outside? Like, does people need more designers? Or there are a lot of designers in the less job?
So right now in India, if you take, you do need a lot of, like, okay, given the situation, we are always sitting at home, and right now we are in need of a lot of UI UX designers. You do need a lot of digital designers. At the same time, you also need product designers. It is a very competitive field. Let's say like, it is a very competitive field. And also right now, maybe in India, you might not have a lot of like, you know, product manufacturing places, but then you also have a lot of design firms. You do have like product design firms. And so like this field is never going to die. The reason is us human beings, we always need something new. We crave for something new. We get bored easily with whatever we're using. And each and every company, they have to bring up something new to, because it's again a very competitive world. So for their competitors and stuff. So if you take up any field, okay, even if you take up about shoe designing or like footwear designing, like how long are you going to use a slipper or a shoe? Like people need new stuff. Like when you take up companies like Adidas and Nike, they have to keep on releasing new designs like every month or every 3 months or like stuff like that. So this field is never going to die, and you do have opportunities, but again, like you have to work hard and you have to try and stand out of the crowd.
Great, thank you so much.
And like, at this point, right now, you have a lot of more opportunities in UI UX designing and more of a digital platform, because as what we know, like everything is happening more digital these days. So you have more opportunities in those fields currently.
Thank you.
Anyone who else has any reason?
Yes.
Also, I was 7th grade or something. I always think that I come to my college in IFT or NID, I would become a designer like Subradha or something.
Okay.
I didn't get a proper side of what I will do after completing my BDes.
Okay.
So after you complete doing that, what and how do you complete?
So I'm working towards it, and my main aim was like, okay, this was something I want to do. Even if I started designing for other designing, somehow design products, and how it's going to help at the same time is other things. I'm working towards it. It's not a process. Maybe it might take a few years. There. This was
what did you do exactly after completing your product design?
So right
after
now,
you step out of college, what you did?
So I was in my master's, and so again to work, start working, get to establish in design. You always keep learning, and right now you start as one. Start working with design other firms. You know, the reason you work with design other firms and do more internship, the reason is you have to have a lot of connection in this field. A lot of connection. You must know a lot of people in this field. Only then you're going to have clients. Like, that's the practical thing which I'm telling. Like, if you need people to know that you exist in this field, or if you want to, okay, making a plan, start working towards the plan. That's what I would suggest. And again, getting a lot of contacts with people you want to be in.
Okay, thanks.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Misconceptions you're talking about, it's all true. Like, whatever myths there are regarding design, like whatever you said, so true right now, like about the colleges or like how design is not easy. Like a lot of people have design or design as interior design. There's like a humongous, like a large array of what do you say, courses out there, and it's crazy because even I got, yeah, it's I also got to know it after joining, like after getting to know about the course. Like once you start understanding the course, like do some research behind what the course actually is, that's when you actually find what it is, and like how many, and the college thing too. Like ma'am, where did you graduate from?
I graduated from UPS, Dehradun.
UPS. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's it. Like the whole college scene also, it's like
yeah,
true.
it's amazing,
like how,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. it actually in the end it all comes down to the person's skill and passion.
Exactly.
It's not about the college or the
it's so
faculty.
true. It's so
Yeah.
true. Like whatever you're saying is so true, because that's what I'm trying to bring in here and try to say, explain to people here, because it's much more about passion, and it's going to cost you a lot of sleepless nights. But if you actually have the passion for it, you can achieve it. Like you can graduate and you can actually be in a really good position.
And then another thing about product design, it also requires a lot of hand skills. Like you need to work, like you actually have to have that hands-on skill. You have to go and make prototypes and
yeah, exactly. But it's fun, right, Namita? It's like really fun, right? Like
I
for
love
people,
it. Yeah.
Exactly. Like when Rajesh said like about his son, who's like always like very handy and he wants to do something. It's very like very exciting to explore when you make your prototypes and when you design it, and it's actually coming to life about your products. Like
it makes
that's
you
where
happy.
it shows your passion. It's like a separate kind of happiness.
Yes, exactly. All those sleepless nights working out for you, it's actually worth it. If you're interested, then it's absolutely worth it. All the pain, sweat, tears, everything.
Exactly. Agreed.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much, Namita. Thank you so much.
True thing.
I hope you actually enjoyed the session.
Yeah, I did it. I was like, this is what I'm actually going through. This is actually true. Like whatever I went through after 12th to like going and applying to each, and since there's like no like one universal exam for this, you have to actually go and apply to every private or like government school. You have to actually go there and apply and take their studio test, and it's always a trial and error. You get into one, you don't get into one, then you get scared for some. Yeah, it happens. That confusion is there always.
Thank you so much, Namita. Thank you so much for sharing your inputs here.
Thank you.
So,
yeah,
is there anyone?
So is there anyone else who has any? Yeah, I'll just share the evening poster. I mean, evening session what has been present, so that people might know. So today evening we have parenting stories for the kids and child psychology. So those who are interested can join in the evening session. It is from 6 o'clock to 7:30 IST PM today. So I just wanted to communicate so that people who are there, who are interested, they can also broadcast. We'll also update in our group, so you can share it with your people so that it might reach and it might be useful for the people who are wanted to know it. Yeah. So I'll just. Yeah, if we have any queries, we can discuss. Otherwise, we can wind up, I guess, Nanthini.
Okay.
Do you have any other thing? Is there yeah.
Okay, so Nandini, have you felt when you joined in UPS, because it's in Dehradun, I got language barriers, and my parents were really afraid of that. That's why they didn't want me to send to Dehradun.
Okay, so let me say, like, okay, I just got really lucky with my parents, let's say, fingers crossed. But yeah, they always knew that I would actually love traveling, and that was an amazing college. That environment was like the best for designing, I would say. Like, you can just explore, and the college is beautiful, and I loved being there. I don't regret being there at all, even a single day. And you know, the reason, like, going there, it actually helped me gain more knowledge about the culture, about the design field, like about the people. It helped me learn a new language. So I would always suggest, like, going outside your comfort zone is actually going to help you grow. So at a point, maybe you must try convincing your parents, and it's actually a very safe place. Like, I was there for 3 years, and I was safe. When I went there, I really didn't know anyone. I didn't even know the language much. I'm pretty sure it's you will be able to handle it, and it's going to be an amazing experience, because stepping out of your comfort zone and going to meet a new whole set of crowd, and now you'll be having contacts all over India. Like, literally in my college, there were hardly any people from Dehradun. Most of the people were from around India. So that's one of the amazing traits, like, which you get there, and you get to meet literally people from each state. So now if you're going to go to any state, you have friends there, and you can stay there for free. Just kidding, but yeah.
That's true though. That's true. The exposure you get is also crazy.
Now I'm currently regretting that I didn't accept a UPS thing.
It's totally fine. Now you will surely get into NIFT, and I'm pretty sure, like, you will do great, Navya. Don't worry.
I'm sure I'm going to argue with my parents right now for not allowing me to go there.
Please don't blame me for that, though.
I was.
So yeah, is there anything else?
So one small thing. So I have post. Yeah. Go ahead.
And again, I'm just saying, like, if anyone wants to know anything more, or if you guys have any other confusion, you can always contact me. Like, I'm free to help. Like, I would love to help you guys with any problem. So yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for saying. So one thing is, so I'm just updating the registration link and the contact numbers. Those who are interested to register for a session or suggest some topics, they can check the below links, which I'm posting it in the chat box, and also the contact numbers. So they can reach out to either Nancy or Charada for any other queries regards to the Let's Talk, Let's Connect. This is a session which is conducted every day. So on Tuesday, we are stepping into 200th day. So that is 200th session has been conducted overall. So if you wanted to if you want to learn more thing, or you wanted to suggest us any topics related to anything which you wanted, let it be game or something, like, you can pour us the suggestions. We will check whether any speaker is available, so and so, and we'll try to connect it. So that's the only thing which I wanted to say. And I guess if there is no further queries, then we can wind up the session, as it's only, we have around like 5 minutes left out, 12:30. So I guess if we have any queries, we can discuss, or else we can wind up. Yeah. So any queries, people? If any doubts, she has given her contact number and as well as the email address. So you can reach out to her personally after this session, so that she can help you in regards to the designs.
Ma'am, is there any other social media account like Behance or something which I can follow? Do you have a Behance account or any article?
Yeah, I do have a LinkedIn, and I do also have an Instagram account. You can follow me either way in those places. Okay, I can send those also. Like, I can send the account names there.
Okay.
In the chat. Thank you. I hope, like, you guys saw, these are my profiles. Like, you can follow, and you can ask any questions regarding anything there. Also, like, you can contact me anywhere. I'm here to help if you guys need anything. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed today, enjoyed the session, and I was able to help you guys in the smallest way. So thank you so much for your time for today, and I also gained a lot of knowledge today. Thank you.
Okay, thanks all for joining. Thank you. Have a nice
Thank
day.
you so much.
Bye.
Have a nice day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.